What would you do if your ex-girlfriend suddenly became your stepsister and started openly teasing you at home? After breaking up with his ex-girlfriend, the boy's father remarried, and his stepmother brought along her daughter, who turned out to be his ex. Can ex-lovers really turn into siblings? Old grudges and new tensions came rushing in, but due to their parents, they had no choice but to let it go. They had to pretend not to know each other. The girl was called Jianu, and the boy was called Irido. When her annoying ex-boyfriend casually called her by her name, Jianu insisted that he address her as sister. Since she was born half an hour earlier than Irido, the two argued endlessly and decided that whoever slipped up first would be the younger sibling. The two came to an agreement, but what Irido didn't expect was that Jianu had already prepared her next move. Acting as a big sister, she rummaged through his things and even approached his most prized possession, the drawer he wanted to keep secret. That was the last straw. Irido quickly apologized, but Jianu, enjoying the moment, called him by his old pet name from when they were dating. This, however, was exactly what Irido had been waiting for. Jianu lost the argument, but as she retreated, she provocatively flaunted her long, slender legs and made another sharp remark. Fate wasn't done with them yet. Not only did they get into the same high school, but they were also in the same class. At the opening ceremony, Jianu excelled, quickly earning admiration. Beneath her big name, everyone soon found out that the two were step-siblings. Some people even tried to get close to Irido to pursue Jianu, but such petty schemes were easily seen through by her. Ignoring her prominent chest, Jianu grabbed Irido's arm and claimed that she had a romantic connection with him, leaving everyone speechless. After returning home, although Jianu strongly demanded that Irido forget what happened in the morning, she herself couldn't forget the sensation. It felt like squeezing a rubber duck, and wearing only a bathrobe, she deliberately kept teasing Irido. This nearly made Irido faint on the spot, and as he tried to stand up, he accidentally fell again, creating an awkward yet intimate situation. Irido couldn't help but lean in to kiss Jianu, but just then, their parents came back home. In a panic, he turned into a magician, hiding Jianu under the couch. Such an absurd storyline. Their parents had remarried, but coincidentally, these two were just a recently broken up couple. From that point onward, they became siblings living under the same roof. However, as everyone knows in such stories, living in close quarters is like a ticking time bomb, not ending in disaster, but with drama at every turn. At this moment, the heroine was burning with an extreme fever of 36.5 degrees Celsius. And the culprit of all this? The hero's infuriating tenderness. Today marked the start of the new semester's physical fitness test. Among them, Nan Xiaoyue couldn't help but feel bitter. Why was she the only one so ordinary and underdeveloped, almost like a child who hadn't grown up yet? Meanwhile, the heroine was stunningly developed and stood out effortlessly. To comfort Xiaoyue, the heroine casually remarked that up until last year she was just as ordinary. This naturally piqued Nan Xiaoyue's interest. She couldn't help but wonder just how far the heroine had come to achieve this. As everyone knows, the smaller the physique, the better the physical performance. Although Nan Xiaoyue claimed she didn't like fitness tests during the actual test, she moved with surprising agility, like a hidden expert pretending to be weak. This left the heroine completely dumbfounded as she watched Nan Xiaoyue's nonchalant demeanor. The heroine realized it was her turn to shine. Having used the transition to high school as a chance to reinvent her personality and appearance, she was determined not to let anyone find out she was terrible at sports. However, when she glanced at the hero beside her, she noticed he had barely managed 2 sit-ups before lying on the ground, clearly giving up. Fortunately, her efforts paid off. The test results were at least decent enough for her to show without embarrassment. In the following tests, she continued to perform steadily, maintaining a consistent level of effort. However, during the 50-meter sprint, despite Nan Xiaoyue's earlier claim of not caring, she suddenly decided to go all out, leaving the heroine with no choice but to push herself as well. Yet, just after finishing the race, the heroine felt dizzy from standing up too quickly. Right when she was about to collapse, the hero stepped in and gently caught her in his arms. He then entrusted her to Nan Xiaoyue, gave a few words of advice, and turned to leave. But what puzzled her was why the hero was still there when the boys' outdoor test should have ended long ago. Realizing the situation, the heroine confessed to Nan Xiaoyue that she wasn't good at sports. To avoid being exposed, she had been staying up late to train over the past few days, which led to sleep deprivation and extreme fatigue. The heroine's honesty touched Nan Xiaoyue, prompting her to open up as well. She had initially thought the beautiful heroine would be unapproachable, but now she saw a surprisingly gentle side to her. However, the heroine was upset upon hearing this and decided to unleash her strongest move. Seeing such an adorable girl, Nan Xiaoyue wanted them to address each other by name, hoping to become best friends. But when faced with Nan Xiaoyue's lively and cheerful demeanor, the shy heroine didn't know how to respond. Seeing her hesitation, Nan Xiaoyue playfully disregarded all rules, which caused the heroine's tsundere side to emerge immediately. Coincidentally, on their way back home, they ran into the hero. Before the heroine could say anything, the hero's simple words made her blush once again. Sure enough, by the next day, the physical test had taken its toll, and the heroine ended up with a fever. Nan Xiaoyue became extremely worried about her condition and asked the hero to take her to visit the heroine at home. After school, Nan Xiaoyue, carrying a newly bought leek, followed the hero to her house. However, when they entered the room, they found the heroine lying weakly in bed. Hearing the noise by the bedside, the heroine slowly opened her eyes. But what she saw was the hero, the very boy she had once dated. To ease the awkwardness, the hero quickly asked Nan Xiaoyue to greet the heroine. In her daze, the heroine caught a glimpse of her friend's figure and gradually came to her senses. Knowing the heroine's stomach would likely be upset, Nan Xiaoyue decided to cook some porridge for her and even asked the hero to help out. While cooking, Nan Xiaoyue keenly observed the hero's demeanor. Although he claimed not to date anyone, his interactions with girls suggested otherwise. From the way he carried himself, it was clear that he had experience in dating. Faced with Nan Xiaoyue's probing questions, the hero chose to stay silent. After Nan Xiaoyue helped the heroine eat, she bid them farewell. Before leaving, however, Nan Xiaoyue asked the hero a question that lingered in the air. When the hero returned, the heroine, surprisingly, started feeling jealous. She accused the hero of being reckless and daring to cook with another girl. The hero reassured her not to overthink and reminded her to get plenty of rest if she wanted to recover from her cold. The heroine, hoping to wake up and find the hero by her side, asked him to hold her hand while she slept. Watching her eat, the hero found himself distracted by her vulnerable state. His emotions conflicted as he pondered the unusual dynamic between them. The heroine's peaceful, sleeping face brought back a flood of memories for the hero. He recalled their sweetest moments together, how they had walked hand in hand through some of the happiest times in their lives. Yet, those cherished days had been shattered by trivial arguments that eventually drove them apart. Just then, the heroine woke up. She immediately began ordering the hero around, asking for water, then food, and so on. When the topic of taking her temperature came up, she panicked, breaking into a nervous sweat. As expected, the thermometer revealed the truth. Her fever had subsided a long time ago. When confronted by the hero about her act, the heroine blushed furiously, hiding her face under the blanket in embarrassment. After a few moments of awkward tension, she finally muttered an apology, her voice muffled as she buried her head further under the covers. Just as the hero was about to leave, something stopped him. The air between them hung heavy with unspoken words, and he hesitated at the doorway, wondering if he should stay or move on.